This video is brought to you by these fantastic sponsors, as well as Mobile Gaming News Network, mobilegamingnews.com, your one-stop shop for all your mobile gaming news, reviews, and information you can use. Head on over and sign up, and if you are inclined to write some articles, go ahead and sign up for that as well. We are always looking for more writers. But with that, let's get into the video. Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the channel. I'm the Shotgun Shogun, and well, I was sitting in Discord just a little bit ago and we were talking about some of the supply run maps, and so a couple people had some questions about one of the maps and how I managed to get past it. So I was streaming a little bit of how I did it, and people were like, hey, you know what, you should make that into a video, because right now people are working on leveling up their base and they're probably having a little bit of a hard time getting some of these higher level mats down because they're having a little bit of a hard time with, what is this supply mission, what is it, SK4? Yeah, SK4 and SK5. Now obviously I haven't really messed with SK5 just yet because, well, SK4 right now for me is good enough because I still do need the blue materials as well as the purple materials. But take a look at this map. So right now, if there are those of you who have played this, you know that you got those big mages that come out of the top and they just absolutely wreck face. If you build too far back, they're still going to walk up and they're still going to just mess you up real hard. Well, I have a really good plan for you, and I hope that you can find this, I hope you find this useful. And if you do, make sure you just, hit that subscribe button and do all of those things. Stick around. I don't really do too many of these, but a lot of people have been asking me for them, so I might just go over what I go over on stream in a little bit more of a condensed fashion. So this is going to rely on two characters. Now, two characters are single-handedly going to make this map an absolute breeze for you. Complete absolute breeze, cakewalk. You're going to be upgrading your base like no other. Now, for those of you who have logged in 7 days in a row, you're going to have Cliff Heart. Cliff Heart is one of the key components of this build. Now, why is that? Well, because Cliff Heart has chain hook. It would be a lot cooler if it was Captain Hook, but it is chain hook, and what it does is it drags the target to Cliff Heart. Now, I have this at level 5. I believe that you can get away with level 4 at least. It's really good just to level this up so that you get that extra pull. You always want the highest on that. That goes the same with Feet Eater, that goes with Shaw, and that goes with the next character that is pretty key to this as well, and that's going to be Rope. And you know why? Because, well, Rope's got hook shot, and what does hook shot do? Literally the same thing. Now, we don't even care about the damage that it deals here, because if you saw that map, well, let's go right back to that map real quick and I'll explain to you what and why, and then I'm going to show it to you real quick on how it is that I get through this really quick. Now, if you see this in the middle, boom, there's a big, huge sand pit with spikes in it. And literally anytime I see a map now that's like, oh, hey, guess what? There's a big hole in the middle of this. I'm like, let's just try to drag people into that, because guess what? If they go into the void, they just die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It doesn't matter how much hit points they have. It doesn't matter what their armor is. If they could jetpack in, it doesn't matter, because guess what? They just got chucked into that hole and now they're dead. Now they're dead. You don't have to worry about them at all. So whenever I see a hole like this, I'm like, how many units can I use Rope and Cliff Heart or Shaw or Feet Eater or Croissant to just literally punt off of the map? Now, this one is pretty easy actually. So what you're going to do is you're going to put one of them here and you're going to put one of them there. Why? Because, well, the big mages come through here, and it's actually probably a little bit better if I just show it to you. So we're going to just hop in here. Now, I don't want this squad. We're going to go to this squad. As you can see, I got a lot of units here. Now, you don't have to use the same units that I have, but Cliff Heart and Rope are key to this. You also need probably 2 tanks. You'll need at least 1 to 2 vanguards, depending on how good your DP refill is. And you also probably want to bring, like, if you've got a Lapland or a Silver Ash, that's really good. If you have a Doberman, that is really good as well, because you're going to want to set up a defensive base, and then you're going to want to have somebody who can kind of hit past your tanks, because the bottom lane is going to be a little tight down there. And so there's a lot of different ways you can flux around down there and go with things, but I'm going to show you how I do it, and then we can talk a little bit about some of your alternatives. So let's hop into this. So let me make sure I got the right team here. Everybody looks good and on the right page. So one of the big things here, like I said, is going to be really around your placement of rope and cliff heart. So the other thing too is if you don't have cliff heart, which I mean you should after 7 days, today is the banner currently is a really good one. So you're going to want to put rope right here. Now, as you can see, she's got a 3 square reach, which is huge. So literally everything over there is going to go into this void, and I need to make sure I'm paying attention instead of talking. So I drop Siege down because Siege is my waifu, and I know that she can eat this. You can run Melantha, you can run Fang. I would personally suggest Fang early because you do need to have that DP gain. Now, I bring Saria because Saria, well, can block and can heal in an AoE range. You can bring things like Beagle. There's quite a few other tanks that you can run here. Now, this is where you're going to want to really bring like a Doberman or a Lapland or a Silver Ash. Me, I've got Silver Daddy, so I'm going to put that money to good use. And not only that, but he makes this an absolute breeze. Now, at this point, you should be pretty good. Sari is healing. You could have a different, you could put a tank up here where your Vanguard is, or you could put your Vanguard up a square pointed forward, have a tank here, have another DPSer right here. But as you can see, you don't even have to worry about the top lane like whatsoever. Now, I will put a Neural up here or a tank, anybody, because just in case you do want to have somebody up there who can stop the unit. Like, so right there, Rope's not going to be able to do both of them. Now, if for some reason 2 were to slip by, and this might happen if you running into like some issues down here at the bottom, and let me just do this real quick. So you don't want to place right here because this mage is going to be able to attack whoever that is. So one of the things that you can do here, let me recall this, is after all of these units have gone through, you can put down a Shaw or a Feeder. And one of the things, one of the reasons why I do that, and we'll do this here, is that Fee Eater should be able to punt at least like 1 or 2 of these dudes off of here. So there we go, and she died, but that's okay. So right after this point, this is where you can put somebody else up here because, well, your tank's tanking, your healer's healing, and really you don't have to worry about, like I said, that top lane at all. So yeah, normally I have Efagilla here, Efagita. I'll put my healer right here, so just in case they walk on through, you can put down, you're going to need a couple of backups because you are going to have some units just eat it down here. So you should be perfectly fine though, as long as you can rotate your units in and out. Now, that was a little bit of a different setup. I was trying out Mana Core, stuff like that. So you are going to want to wait until you get those units to walk through and then down, because as you can see, when I put those the Mana Core up there at the top, that's when that mage really hit hard. So one of the things that you can do, like I said before, is if you put maybe a tank a little further ahead, because like let's talk a little bit about some additional strategies here, because you are going to want to have some other options here because not everybody has the team that I have. So you could put your Vanguard right up here, where my cursor is at, pointed towards this. You could also potentially just put your Vanguard straight up on the square right outside of it, just pointed straight in there. And then that way too, everything's going to attack your Vanguard. You can put your heavy Skyfire DPSer up here on this platform, and then use like a Neuro or a Saria, something like that, to heal up that Vanguard. Anybody who also has self-healing is really good there. You can put a tank with a Doberman with a healer up there. A Warfarin is really good healer because of the attack up buff. You could also, I mean, and if you're just doing that, then you don't really have to worry too much about AoE healing, because you're going to be single targeting, at least until you get hit with that huge wave near the end. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a bunch of units ready to just drop as they kind of like just walk right through there. Now, I don't know, there's probably a bunch of other ways that are probably more like straightforward, just tank and spank or something along those lines, but I thought that this was really interesting, and a lot of people in Discord didn't know how I did this, because I was like, oh, did you just use the double pull method to, you know, knock this out easy peasy? And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you show that to us? And I showed it to them. They're like, whoa, that's crazy. And if nothing else, take away from this that Rope and Cliffheart really change up the way that you can play the game, and you can just look at terrain a lot differently from here on out. So like I said, guys, if you did like this, you know, consider giving me a subscribe, like, comment down below what maps are you having trouble with, and I can kind of walk through those on basically how I do them. So yeah, if you do, let me know, and I'll probably do more of these. If not, you can always ask me questions whenever I'm streaming over on Twitch, the Real Shotgun Shogun over there. I usually go through all of these maps, and I'm more than happy to explain what it is that I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And a lot of times you can watch me sit there and bang my head against maps and try to figure them out. Anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy this, and I'll catch you later. Take it easy, homies. Peace.